Ladies, it is so cold outside. I just went to go take a walk and made it like 10 steps and then just came back inside and gave up. So hopefully you guys are able to get out some other time this week into the sunshine. I know it's been nice a few days this week, but I'm really excited to jump into chapter 2 with you, especially those of you who are reading on your own, to really keep you included and in the loop. So chapter 2 for me was very quotable, so I'm really excited to share some of those things that really stood out to me, and I look forward to hearing some of the quotes that stood out to you the most. But we really started this chapter by asking, who has been pivotal in your spiritual relationship with the Lord? And I loved hearing the answers. A lot of people said their mom. Honestly, the people who are very, very close to them had a lot of influence in their life. And I know lots of people have had either a discipleship partner before, but a lot of people haven't had something that formal. It's really just been people who they've come in contact with who've really taken the time and energy to just love them well and to listen well. So definitely share with me. I would love to hear who it's been for you, who's been very influential in your life. I know for me, my parents, I grew up with parents who are believers. Also, my in-laws are believers as well, and they are really continually encouraging me in my faith when it comes to family members. So I just love this quote that says, "Disciples of Jesus are not mass-produced, but handcrafted one at a time." And that really made me pause and just really think how simple yet hard it can be to follow Jesus and also to make disciples, and how it really does take time and energy and patience on both people's parts. So I know that this is the most rewarding way to do it, and I know we've started this whole thing a year ago and people are now starting to partner up, and so I'm really excited to see that that hard work and time is paying off. So some of the other quotes that have stood out to me really well in this chapter, there was one that was just saying how you're not alone if you are, it says, "Most everyday Christians do not know how to make disciples. We know because we've talked to them. They tell us, 'I have never been discipled, so I don't know how to disciple others.'" And I think that that can be the response of a lot of us who are like, "I've never been through something like this before. How do I even do it?" And so I really hope that you don't need to have all the answers today, and you won't ever have them all, and that's okay. It's just being one step ahead of somebody else on the journey of life and helping them along in their walk. So the other thing was that the most difficult part of disciple making is usually making time for relationships. And I feel like we all know that and have been talking about that as well. That's really what it takes. So we really do get in this chapter into some of the definitions. I know that can oftentimes seem boring to us, but they just want to make sure that the way that we're understanding the word is what they really mean. And so it's also a very general term because they really don't want to specify it so much that it has to be in a certain context. It's really just for all people for all time. So a disciple is someone who is following Jesus, being changed by Jesus, and is committed to the mission of Jesus. And I love that they include all three of those based on a scripture, I believe it's from Matthew, and that it's not that salvation is the end goal that you get to and then your race is done. You've reached the finish line. Salvation is really the beginning, and then you follow Jesus, be changed by him, and be committed to his mission. So it really is three parts all in one. And then for disciple making, theirs was, disciple making is helping people to trust and follow Jesus. And again, I love how simple that is. It's just helping someone else. You can't make them do anything. You can't force them to grow. It's really just helping them along, walking along with them where they're at, offering a hand to help them up when they fall, or maybe even running behind them sometimes when they're excited and on fire for the Lord. So I love those definitions. Definitely let me know if you maybe had a different sort of definition in your mind. Maybe you've probably never written one out before, but I'd love to hear from you guys about that. So the one quote that's not, from the book, but from the chapter per se, but it's just from Dallas Willard, who's a very famous theologian. So he says, I love this, "Non-discipleship is the elephant in the church. It's not the many moral failures, financial abuses, or amazing general similarity between Christians and non-Christians. These are only the effects of the underlying problem. Ouch. So I'm really glad that we are talking about this and having conversations so that it no longer can be the elephant in the room. For sure. Really, the last thing that I wanted to kind of chat about with you guys was something that they brought up of the book that the people who wrote this book, they first read a different book written by Dr. Coleman. It's called The Master Plan of Evangelism. And it really just puts it so plainly that he says that Jesus's method of discipleship is perfect. And I had never thought about it in that way before, and it really got me thinking, like, wow, I mean, that's how Jesus did it, so should we not do it the same? So I would love to hear what you guys think about that as well. Obviously, modern day looks a little bit different seemingly, but is it really that different? So the last thing that I just loved from this chapter was the little section, of course, called Jesus. These are I believe there's 7 sections to the intentional relational discipleship method. Too many words. But it says, Jesus drew people to himself. He was unabashed and clear in speaking the truth. He is the centerpiece and the focus of all discipleship. Here it is. We are not discipling people into a program. We are introducing them to a person. And I just really love that because that has been my experience that has really changed my life as well. So please reply. Tell me what you guys thought about this chapter as well. What quote stood out to you? What kind of struck you in the heart? Or what really kind of opened your eyes to see something in a new light? I would absolutely love to hear from you.